Welcome to the JAMODI podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. Changes in philosophy that you've had over the years, what's the one thing you would do differently if you could start over in coaching?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm trying to, here's what I would do differently. It's not a lot. And the reason I say that is because I think I've sort of embraced this go for it, can do, risk-taking attitude my whole life. What I regret in coaching, I regret a couple of things. And it all has to do with relationships. So I had this young man. It was a great kid. He wasn't that great of a player. And it was maybe first or second year here. And we were in a close game, and it was a conference championship, but it was also senior. It was his senior day. And his parents had come in, and I didn't play him. I forgot to get him in the game. And I just regretted that so much. Like as the game was, as soon as it was over, I realized I did not play this kid in the game. And I wrote him a letter and I apologized, and he totally forgave me. But, his family was there, his parents were there, and I had put so much emphasis on winning the game. It was a close game. And I can't remember if we won or lost. Isn't that funny? Yeah. But I do remember I didn't play the kid, and I felt terrible. And the reason I didn't play him is because, I could have inserted him in the first half or something, somehow, some way, but I just didn't do it. And there's been a couple other times where I've really scolded kids, and maybe they deserve it to a certain degree, but I was doing it more in a way that I felt like was probably more about me getting what I wanted and not teaching the kid from, a heart perspective. So those would be the things that I would have regretted. As far as playing style, or any other, bringing in the big time philosophy. No, I feel like I think when it's done and over, I'm going to say, yeah, I'd have done that 10 times out of 10. No problem. And if you don't like it, no problem. I don't regret any of that. It's just sometimes when I think maybe I've neglected a player or hurt a player. One time I took a player out and he said, "You embarrassed me." And I said, "No, I didn't want to do that. I never went into coaching to embarrass anybody." And we won the game, but I was more concerned about my relationship with this kid than even winning the game. So that actually was a good situation. But it all comes down to, I don't want broken relationships. Yeah. I want kids to come back, 100% of them, and stay in touch, which fortunately, I'm so fortunate they have done. 100% of our players. Now, if they've left the school and then played for us for all 4 years, that's a little something different. But every kid that's graduated for me and kind of seen through the whole program, 100% have come back. And, we have great relationships. So I feel like that's important.
I thank you for sharing that. And I think it's important for myself and coaches to hear you say that. Yeah. Looking back, it's not more wins that you want or big moments that you wish you would have come out on top. It's the few of the failures that you had with relationships with players. Right. And how much more of an emphasis we need to have on that ourselves now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's right.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.